Hello everyone, let us get inside of netting, which is basically used to route the private network to the public internet. So let us take two routers. Okay, let us assume that one is in private and another is in the public. So we are going to take a switch 2960 and some couple of PC. Okay, let us connect them using the serial interface, the fast Ethernet port. This would be our basic topology, wherein the left hand side would be our private network and the right hand side would be our public network. And now if you look at inside the RFC 1918, which is basically defined by the Internet Engineering Task Force, it defines that the IP addresses in the private network is not routable to the public internet. So we have the private range of 10 dot network, and the ones from the class B it's 172.16 and 172.31.25.255.255. And from the class C it is of 192.168.0.0 and it is ending by 192.168.255.255. And now we are going to map private IP address to the public IP address. So for this we use three types of netting. So if we look at inside of the static net, which is basically a mapping of one to one, that is going to map one private IP address to the single public IP address. So this would be hectic for a network engineer. And if we come up to the dynamic, which is an upgraded version from the static net, and in dynamic we are going to take up a pool of private network and it will as map to the pool of public IP address. And now for the third one, if we check out for the pet, so it is basically a port address translation and it is extension that permits the multiple device to map to a single IP addresses that is routable to the internet, and the router will take the decision and the translation by checking its IP address and the service port number, which is a layer 4 port number. So different hosts inside are assigned with different port number. The router knows which host the return traffic when the public IP address is same. So basically let us start our lab. If we come up to the router, enable configure terminal, let's give the host name as RTR1. Let us assign the IP address interface fastEthernet 0/0, no cert. So this would be my 10 dot network 0.0.10, IP address 10.10.10. The subnet mask is of /24. Exit interface serial 2/0, no cert. IP address 20.0.0.1 255.255.255.0. Okay, do show IP interface brief to check if we have assigned the IP address correctly. Yep. Okay, let us save the configuration. And if we come up to the router 2, that is basically of the public network, that is at the public premises, and enable configure terminal interface fast Ethernet 0/0. So I'm going to assign here the 50 dot subnet IP address 50.0.0.10 255.255.255.0. Exit. And in the serial interface serial 2/0. Okay, it should be connecting to 2/0. No cert. IP address 20.0.2 and the subnet mask is of /24.0. Okay, do show IP interface brief. Okay, we have assigned the IP address correctly. So this is on the different network. So in between, if we assume that there is internet, so the internet we are going to define as the 70 dot network. And now if you come up to the RTR1 and we are going to map the net, configure the net. So for before that, let us try and assign IP address to the PC. we'll just assign 10.0.0.1 is obviously less 24, and the default gateway is of 10.10.10. And if you come up to the desktop and come up to the command prompt and ping 10.10.10, let us ping our gateway. Okay, the gateway is reachable. And if you come up and ping the serial interface, the exit interface, so it should be pinging. So by now we have not implemented any routing protocol. If we try and ping the 50.network, then okay, it is not reachable. Let us try and ping assign IP address to the same for the same at the public one. We're going to assign here 50.0.0.1, 255.255.255.0, okay, 50.0.0.10. And from the command prompt, if we try and ping the 50.10, so it should be pinging. Yep, the gateway is reachable. So we have not implemented any routing protocol yet. So do so IP route. We have only the directly connected network. So let us advertise the route. So we are going to point as default route. Now let us point a default route towards the serial interface. IP route 0.0.0, 0.0.0, and it should point towards 10.2, 20.2. Okay, do so IP route. So it is, we have the default route that is for the 20.2, and in between we are going to use the 70.network as our private public network that is being assigned by the INA exit. If we point static route towards the serial interface of 70.network incoming, then it should go to, and we should define the subnet mask, and it should go towards the 20.1. So IP route, okay, we have implemented the routing protocol, and by now we should configure the static net. So from the PC we don't have the reachability to the 50.1, so now it should show that the request timeout. Okay, now if you come up to the RTR1 and implement the net, so it should be reachable. And net is a bidirectional protocol, so let us configure it. IP net, and inside from the inside source we are going to map it static, and the IP address of the PC now, so it should be the inside global. It's that is the IP address that is being defined by the INA that we have taken from the INA 70.network. Okay, and we should map it with a single network IP address. Okay, do so IP route. Okay, let us try and ping from the PC. Now it should be pinging. So after configuring the net, we should define the exit and the entry of the traffic. So interface fast Ethernet 0/0, so IP net inside, and the interface serial 2/0 is pointing towards outside. Do right, and ideally it should be reachable now. Let us come to the PC command prompt. Let's try and ping the PC at 50. Yep. So this is how we statically net from a private network to the public internet. Now if we come up to the dynamic net, which is basically a mapping of a certain IP address range that should be pinging to the public internet. Let us come up to the router and remove the configuration. So this was the command, control A, no. So we have removed the command. Now if you try and ping, it should not be pinging. Yep. So now let us define the dynamic net. So for dynamic net, we are going to configure access list buffers to define a certain network to permit out. So list 55 permit 10.10.10. We're going to use the wildcard mask, and then IPNet. We're going to use a pool and define a keyword. Let us use ccna, and that is beginning from the 70.1. Okay, 70.0.0.1 of the net mask. This is of the 255.255.255 dot. We should have used 70.10 because we are going to assign a pool. So, and the network net mask would be 255.0.0.0, and pnet. Let us define the inside source. Okay, we are going to map the netting with the access list and the ccna. Do so IP net translation. Okay, we have not implemented any translation yet, so exit. We have implemented the dynamic. Let us try and ping. Okay, it is reachable now. And if we come up over the router and check do so IPNet translation. Okay, I'm not in the global configuration mode, so IPNet translation. Yes, we can see our inside local the private network is moving towards the internet, and it is reaching to the desired target machine, that is at the public net internet. So it might be a server or something. Okay, so we have successfully configured dynamic net. So if we come up for pet, which is basically an extension to that net, and in the port address translation we are going to use the single IP address. So that is also the configuration is also the same, just we are going to use the overload keyword. So we are going to remove the net mask that is being defined, and rest are the same. We're going to keep the access list as this, and control A. No. So we have removed those two commands. Do so run by. We just have the defined inside the network. We don't have the actual command. So for this we are going to use the IP net. We are going to use a single IP address that is of the 70 itself, and the net mask would be of 255.255.255.255, and the IP net. Let us map with the access list, source list 55, and the pool ccna overload. So this is the command. The overload is the command which is going to use. Okay, if we come up to the PC and let's try and ping the internet. Okay, yep, it's reachable now. So this is how we configure net, basically a mapping. And if we come up to the router and check the so IP net translation, we can see that the netting protocol has been implemented successfully, and this is how we implement. Thank you.